Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is the 17th of August. It is Wednesday, 2022. Before we jump into this video, I want to remind everybody I will be live streaming tonight at 8 p.m. And I'm not sure what the topic is going to be yet, but we will figure that one out. But I would encourage you all to join me then. As you can see with the clouds, and especially over here, because the storms normally come in from this way. So if I look over here and it's dark, it means we are going to definitely have rain coming. So, yeah, I've seen storms go this way or come from over there and go that way. It's really neat actually to watch, to be at this elevation and to be able to see the different things as far as what the temperature or the storms are doing and that type of stuff. I've sat up here before and I've watched some storms off in the distance, a lot of lightning and stuff like that, and be completely dry here. And I know they're getting hammered down that way. All right. So the best way to deal with racism is more racism, right? Does that make sense? So the reason I ask that question in that way, and I'm being completely sarcastic when I say that, because racism in any form is not acceptable, all right? Not acceptable. So what we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about the teachers union up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They went on strike for 2 weeks, and then they struck a deal. And as part of that deal, and I love how they do it, underrepresented groups. So if there is teachers need to be laid off, generally, especially with unions and stuff like that, it's all about tenure. So the more tenure you got, you're not getting laid off. First in, last out, generally, okay? So the newest people that get hired are generally the ones, if there's layoffs that are going to happen, they're the ones that are let go. They're the least experienced, number one. Number two, that's how it normally works. But in their ultimate wisdom up in Minneapolis, they have decided that they will retain teachers of color and get rid of white teachers. Now, if that isn't the most blatant form of racism I have ever seen in my life, I don't know what is. And so it's what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the right word. The rationale that is being used with this, it is righting the wrongs of past racism is the language that is being used. And I'm going to go ahead and call BS on that. Folks, let me just put it like this. Racism is racism is racism. If you are being racist towards another group of people because of their color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their religious beliefs, that's racism. It's really simple. And I'm going to tell you what, I will tell you when race relations took a turn back. And it took a turn back, and I would say, more than 20 years. And that was when Obama got elected into office. It was put more in the forefront. And here's my belief, okay? And I've stated this before, and I'll state this again. The best qualified people should be getting jobs. You should not be getting extra points for anything. You should be the best qualified people for a job. All right. So who has the highest? I mean, if you look at the, there's a scale, okay, and they say, who is the, generally the smartest people, like in the United States, and that generally happens to be people of Asian descent. Why is that? Right? What makes Asian people so different from white people? So different from black people? So different from Hispanic people? What's the difference? I'm going to tell you what the difference is. The parents of those children encourage education, encourage them to do better in life. They are expected to do better in life. Their goal in life is not to be the crack dealer on the corner and drive the big fancy car before they're either killed or go off to prison for the rest of their lives. They are encouraging their kids. There's generally, in Asian families, mom and dad is also in the house. It's a weird concept, I know, okay? But my thing is this: if you are in an underrepresented group of people and you want to do something, get your education. Try harder. You don't get bonus points because, or you shouldn't get bonus points, let me just say, because they do give bonus points because of the color of your skin. I'm going to give you a great example of this, guys, okay? I was working for Monroe Developmental Center. This is going way, way, way back in the day. And we had to take a civil service exam to get that job. And so I was one of those people that got hired for that job. When we got into orientation, it was a eclectic mix of white people, black people, and that type of thing, okay? So what happened was, everybody that was in that class that was white had scored 95 or higher on their civil service test. I think I scored a 98, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember back, we're talking a long, long time ago. So everybody in that class had scored, a 95 or better that was white. Black people were given so many points, and it might have been 15, it might have been 20 points, I believe. So now what happens is, if you scored a 75 on your civil service test and you got that extra 20 points, now you're up to 95. So you're bumping out a whole bunch of other people. So they were given, that advantage way, way back then. This is 1980s, okay? And so what ends up happening in that type of situation, do you have the best qualified people working there? No. You have the best qualified white people working there, and you have substandard other people, whoever their scores were. And like I said, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have cared if the entire class had been Asian. Doesn't make any difference to me. The point I'm making is, if you're going to have qualified people working in a position, you don't give people break after break after break that gets people that are not intellectually able to handle a job. I guess that's the right terminology. So, it is ridiculous. When I went to nursing school, I'll give you another example of something, okay? So here I am in nursing school. I had to take out student loans, do that to be able to go to school. And we are in class, and I overheard a conversation. And one of the girls that was in the class was talking to another girl that was in the class. They both happen to be black. And she says, "Oh, you need to go down to this office because you're going to get an extra $2,000 for school just because you're black. Free. Don't have to pay it back. No, nothing. And here I am. Thank goodness I was with my first wife at the time, and she let me focus on school, and and I was able to get by and do that. I didn't get no freebies. I didn't get no extras. When we were in orientation, they said, "Can somebody tell me what a minority is?" And I raised my hand, and she said, "Yes, Ed." I said, "Everything else except for a white male." And the class laughed. And I said, "I'm not kidding." And the instructor said, "You're right. Everything other than a white male is a minority. Period. It's just the way it is." So we have to, as white men out there, we have to be smarter. We have to try harder. We have to work harder. And there's so much racism out there now. And I'm not going to call it reverse racism because, again, there is no such thing as reverse racism. Racism is racism, period. All right? There should not be any kind of incentives like what's going on in Minnesota right now. That is blatantly racist and should never be allowed to happen. Never should be allowed to happen. Because I will tell you this right now, folks, if that was reversed and that was the policy against black teachers or Hispanic teachers or Asian teachers, that we're going to keep all the white teachers and get rid of them, people would be losing their minds. Losing their minds, okay? So racism is racism, and that's just a fact. I am like so tired of our society today, especially white people, constantly apologizing for things that we had nothing to do with. Hey, come on. Get over here. Come on. I see you looking at me. Come on. Hello? Hey. Let's go. I don't know what she's looking for. Alright, here she comes. I know, you were distracted. I know. So anyway, folks, I would like to hear your feedback on this topic. This type of stuff drives me insane. It really does. How about we all be on an equal playing field? Same rules apply for everybody. The most qualified people get jobs. The stupid people don't get jobs. That's how it should be, okay? And if you want a job and you want to qualify for something, work harder. Because I'll tell you what, I've always had to. And that's just the way it's always been. So, anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Remember, we're all in this together. We are one race called the human race. Honestly, if we could ever figure that one out, we would be in such better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us over race, religion, political affiliation, the vaxxed, the unvaxxed. It just needs to stop. We need to work together. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right? I hope you all have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.